What's going on, y'all? This is Hiron Talks. I talk about life, mental health, and culture. I feel like everyone deserves the space to be honest, feel what they feel, and not get judged for it. Today, we're talking about emotional spirals, stored pain, and the power of belief when chaos hits. And make sure you stay to the end of the episode. We're going to talk about something that's going on in today's culture. Hopefully, this episode helps you see yourself and your growth in a whole new way. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Let's get it. Okay, first we're going to start with this. You are not the darkness you feel. You are the one who survives it. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so sometimes the scariest part of a mental struggle isn't what happened to us. It's how it echoes inside of us. So what does that look like exactly? Okay, so let's look at it like this. You got that loop where you're fine 1 second and then you're spiraling the next. You know, that heavy weight just hits you out of nowhere for no reason. That inner voice, those thoughts in your head, maybe those intrusive thoughts, they sound like the truth, but they only tell you what's wrong with you. Now, why is it important to recognize that, right? So if you believe the fear is who you are, not just what you're feeling at the moment, you'll stop fighting. And then you will start living from pain instead of healing through it. Okay. So what does that look like? Okay. Let's give some real life examples. So let's say some days it just hits for no reason. You're doing something normal. You're washing the dishes, walking into work, scrolling on your phone. And then out of nowhere, you start getting that funny feeling, you know, your chest gets heavy, your mood flips. You start feeling distant from yourself. Nothing bad has happened. It just feels like something is wrong, you know? So that's not random. That's your mind and your body replaying a feeling that it hasn't finished with yet. And in that moment, it's easy to feel like that moment and those feelings is the truth. Like, it's easy to believe that moment that you're spiraling in, but it's not the truth. It's just a pattern. It's not a prophecy. It's not who you really are. Okay. So your fear may be loud, but it's not the whole story. Pain gets stored, but peace can be practiced. You don't have to feel calm to start building it again. So there's a lot of different ways you can practice peace, self-care, prayer, even interrupting those intrusive thoughts. So, for instance, I'm shooting this video right now, and if I had some thoughts or some negative, just cycles of maybe what I've been through in the past or something that's still going on, I'll have to interrupt those thoughts and really just be like, no, you're recording right now. You're recording this video. We're not talking about that. You're not thinking about that. You know what I mean? And then your brain will adapt to getting out of that thought loop. Now, there's a lot of different resources out there. Of course, therapy. There's a lot of different things out there that you can do, but there's also things that you can do right in the moment, you know? So, let's look at it like this. What if the part of you that panics isn't the part of you that's in charge? So ponder on that. Keep that in your mind, keep that in your spirit. And that's going to take us on to our second point. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's get it. Okay, so point number 2 is God is greater than the chaos. What you believe about the bigger picture shapes how you move through your darkest parts in life. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so life just won't test your patience. Life will break your heart, hit your pride, and possibly pull you into survival mode. And what does that look like exactly? You get betrayed, so you shut down. You lose something and you spiral. You feel alone, and then you start treating everyone like a threat. And why that matters is because if you don't anchor to something deeper than the pain, your reactions start to look like your identity. You may ghost, you may lash out, you stop trusting, and all those things don't free you. Those things trap you. Okay, it's important to know that. All right, so let's give an example. Let's think of someone. Let's make up a name. Marcus. Let's say Marcus. I don't know. Marcus. So Marcus, Marcus has a close friend, and he does business with this close friend. They come up with this big business deal, but his close friend lied to him during the deal, snaked him out, whatever the case may be, right? So now Marcus starts pushing everyone away. Even the ones that had nothing to do with it, he starts pushing them away. Every text feels like a threat. Excuse me. Sorry. Every text feels like a threat. Every plan feels like pressure. And then he justifies that as, I'm protecting my peace. That's why I'm doing that. But the truth is not really protecting his peace in this type of scenario. It's the fear that's calling the shots. So say Marcus tries to drink it away, smoke it away, whatever the case may be, go into a vice which isn't what you should anchor yourself in. So say he just gets to the point where he's like, man, look, he tells himself, God is greater than my disappointment. And then things shift for him. That mindset shifts for him. That one belief maybe helped him reach out, clarify, and rebuild what really mattered in his life. So instead of burning every bridge out of pain, he's now moving in a better direction. So that's just a made up example, but a real example, you know what I mean? At the same time. So let's just say this. You're not wrong for feeling hurt at all. You're just not built to live from the hurt. You know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with having feelings at all, but you're just not built to live from it. Pain says shut down to stay safe. But faith will say stay grounded to stay free. You know what I mean? So pain will tell you shut down to stay safe, but faith will tell you stay grounded to stay free. Okay? So what if your greatest strength isn't how hard you hit back, but how deeply you stayed anchored? Stay anchored in God, stay anchored in yourself, self-love, all that good stuff. We all go through things in life. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to be a normal human with natural emotions. I get it. You're not just going to be perfect all the time, and you're not just going to be happy all the time too. I get it. But we're looking at this from a realistic perspective. So take these things. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let it sit in your mind. Let it sit in your spirit. And let's go ahead and move to the next thing. Let's get it. Okay, so at the end of the episode, we're going to talk about something that's going on in culture. It may be something that's new or old at the time of this recording, but we're going to talk about it anyway, okay? So today we're going to talk about how Bronny James is choosing self-awareness and defense over hype to earn his place in the NBA. So for all of you who may not know who Bronny James is, maybe you watched the full episode. You probably know who he is if you just clicked on this individual clip that I'm going to post about this. But Bronny James is LeBron James' son, and he plays in the NBA. It's real cool. It's a real great moment, right? So, we all know you don't get playing time in the league based off your last name. Now, I don't think LeBron or Bronny felt like that. Like, because I'm in the James family, I'm going to get playing time. I don't think that. But Bronny James is just basically now having self-awareness. He's just knowing now you earn the playing time by knowing who you are and playing like it. So basically, Bronny was saying he's not pretending to be like a 20, 30, 40 point scorer. He's owning his lane as a defender. And what does that look like for Bronny James? Instead of forcing shots or chasing highlight moments, he's diving into defensive rotations, guarding full court, and staying coachable. Now, I do want to say his attitude, his humbleness, and staying coachable, that's a testament to how he was raised. Shout out to his parents for instilling those characteristics within him. But shout out to Bronny James for continuing to evolve from that too, right? Okay, so the thing about that, and the reason that's good, because if he tries to be something that he's not long term, he'll get exposed fast. I know people put a lot of pressure on him and stuff like that, but I'm talking about, if he was trying to go out there and really drop 50 and that really wasn't his lane right now, long term, it'd be like, man, you know what I mean? So it's good he has that self-awareness. right now. So, the NBA doesn't wait for you to figure it out. Okay, it doesn't. The NBA doesn't wait for you to figure it out. It's a business. But shout out to Bronny. So basically, Bronny, his rookie year, he played limited minutes for the Lakers. He spent most of his rookie year grinding in the G League with South Bay. I believe that's the name, South Bay. But he didn't pout. He didn't pout. He got better with his defense, his effort, his court vision. And that's what the Lakers staff wants. That's what other team staff want, coaches and all that good stuff, right? And that actually gives actual value, not just flashy stats. Everything's just not about flashy stats. And this is the thing, especially if you're a hooper and you're watching this, right? Man, people feed their family off playing defense or grabbing rebounds. Let's say we're not even talking about Bronny right this specific second. Say you got hoop dreams, you're trying to play at college, you're trying to play on your high school team, overseas, whatever the case may be. Play your role. You may hit that corner three. Done got some dudes pay millions, grabbing them rebounds, that defense, a whole bunch of stuff. Being the scorer, being the mid range, so whatever. Everybody's not going to be Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, right? Okay, so Bronny is going in with the mindset. I feel like based off what he's been saying recently, he's going off the mindset that he's realizing, and he probably already knew, but he's clarifying how the league doesn't reward ego, they reward clarity. And what I mean by that is basically what we just talked about, knowing your role, all that good stuff, right? And you got to think about it, like players like Derek White, Alex Caruso, they built long careers by locking in on defense first and then offense followed, right? So let's look at it in our lives, right? We talk about life, mental health, and culture on this channel, so we always got to flip it that way. How much more could we grow if we stopped chasing the shine and focused on what actually got us minutes? You see that metaphor, right? So just play our role, stay in our lane, and then things evolve, man. We don't know. That's why in sports, you don't know. There's a lot of stuff on paper, but you don't know how Bronny gonna be in the future. He may be one of the best players in the league. You don't know in the future. You never know. You look at let's look at another sport like Tom Brady. Tom Brady got picked late, and look how his career went. There's a lot of people out there in sports. That's a great thing about sports. That's why it keeps going on and on for all these years. You don't know what's gonna happen. That's one of the big things. The NCAA tournament is like the biggest time of the year we see that, right? Excuse me. That's the biggest time of the year we see that, right? The team that you didn't think, Backyard University, they done went to the Final Four. So you never know what's gonna happen in sports. It's really all about, with anything in life, I feel like, me personally, it's about the work you put in, the mindset you have. And Bronny has a good mindset, and it is a lot of pressure on him. I know people are real tough on him, but it's a lot of pressure, I'm pretty sure, already. And then people probably play a little bit harder. It's like a championship team, right? Say you win the championship in 2025. In 2026, all the teams are going to want to play you a little bit tougher because you won the championship. So with him being LeBron James' son, people probably are definitely more critical of him. Probably play a little bit more harder defense on him. All that good stuff. It's more on his back. So we also got to take that into consideration. And if we were in his shoes, how would we be? But Bronny's good at basketball. He just has to adjust to the NBA a little bit better, in my opinion. Shout out to Bronny, definitely way better than me in basketball. But he hoops pretty good in the G League. He was good in high school. He had a little bit of time in college. I know some things that happened with that, but look, you never know, right? He may end up being better than LeBron James. He's probably like, no, he won't. You don't know that. How old is he? You don't know that. You don't know. We don't know. Or he might just be average, or he might just stay where he at, or whatever. But as long as he fine, his mental health good, he fulfilling, that's all that matter. He good anyway. He in the James family, they all right. He'll be all right as long as he doing something he love, right? But all right, anyway, that's the culture part of this episode. Let's go ahead and move to the next thing. Let's get it. Okay, everybody, just remember that whatever you're going through, your feelings, the moment you're in, these hard times that you may be going through, or whatever the case may be, it's not the end of your story. It's the signal to anchor deeper. Now, preferably, I would say anchor deeper in God, anchor deeper in your mental health. They have a lot of tools out here, therapy. There's a lot of ways you can get virtual therapy, all types of different things too. So anchor yourself in the things that will benefit you in the long run. Okay, just don't bury yourself in vices, or just understand how maybe the things you've gone through, how they can affect the way you see the world, interact with the world, interact with yourself, see yourself, things of that sort too. All right, so this is Hiron Talks. I talk about life, mental health, and culture. Understand that the wisest man in the room knows nothing at all, so we must keep learning, and that's what I try to do my best with. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Peace.